Good day to you all, and welcome back to another episode of Dave's Dinners. We're having a delightful dinner this evening, which consists of an absolutely delicious chorizo risotto, or chorizo risotto, or chorizo risotto, or chorizo, whatever you want to call it. We're having one of those, and we're also having it with a nice little bit of sea bass on the top as well. Gonna cook it in the oven this week though, not gonna pan fry it, because it made a bit of a mess on my hob last time and I wasn't very happy about it, so we're gonna cook it in the oven this week. Well then, back at the chopping board once again. As always, quick run through of the ingredients that we're using today. Bit of chorizo, 2 medium onions, a handful of garlic cloves, mild chili powder, smoked paprika, bit of dried thyme, chicken stock, 230 grams of risotto rice, and finally, ladies and gentlemen, some sea bass fillets. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the stock on the go. So I've got a pan over here with about 1 litre of cold water in it. I'm going to put these 2 stock cubes in there, and then we'll get a little bit of heat on it and start the chicken stock. I've also got the oven on preheat as well to oven cook the sea bass fillets. You don't have to oven cook them, you can pan fry them, you can do whatever you want with them, but I'm going to oven cook them because I want that kind of oven cooked texture, if that makes sense. So these are only going to take around about 12 to 13 minutes in the oven, so I don't want to put them in yet, but I'm going to get them on the baking tray ready to go in so there's no faffing about later. And I also want to note that I've put them skin side down. The reason for that is they have a tendency to get stuck to the pan, and I'd rather lose the skin of the fish than the fish itself. So just literally put it in the baking tray, and then we'll put this to the side and we'll chuck it in the oven a bit later on. Meanwhile, I'm going to get the prep work underway, which is just a case of chopping up the chorizo, the onions and the garlic, to be honest, not really much to do. Which one shall I chop first? I usually do onions last because they make me cry. Let's do the garlic first. Something a bit like that, guys. I've left the garlic for now, gonna crush it, but that's ready to go. So let's head over to the hob and get this risotto underway. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get everything into the pan. I'm not going to put any oil in, I'm not going to put any butter in, because the chorizo is going to do its thing and produce its own oil. So chorizo and onion in there. Let's get a little bit of heat. And then we need to keep stirring this to ensure that the onion's not going to start burning. And we want the chorizo to melt all of its lovely juiciness into the pan. I say melt, I don't think it's going to melt, but it's going to extract, or I don't know, whatever the word is. But you want to keep stirring it anyway so the onion doesn't burn, basically, until it starts getting a lovely colour on it. So we don't want to overdo it. I think that's pretty good. Just going to keep it on there. I'm going to get a bit of chili powder in there. Not too mad, but just a nice little bit to give it some zing. And a smidge of paprika. Lovely. Let's give it a quick stir around. And then next I'm going to get my garlic. I've just crushed it in the crusher. If you haven't got one, just chop it up fine. Will do. And then give that a quick whiz round. And then finally I'm going to put my thyme in there. Just give it a good scattering. Like so. We don't really want to fry the rest of it for too long, so just give it a quick stir around. And to be honest, that's probably pretty good. Doesn't need long at all. It's just to kind of release the essence, if you know what I mean. I'm going to chuck my risotto rice in there. I'm going to give that a quick stir around. I'm also going to get my ladle ready for my stock, but I'm going to give this a quick stir around, and then I'm going to put a ladle full of stock in there, And I'm also going to put my fish in the oven because this takes roughly the same amount of time, around about 12-13 minutes. That's looking pretty good to me. So let's get a couple in there to start actually. A couple of ladlefuls. Just give it a quick turn round, like so. And then I'm going to have to move you out of the way to get my fish in the oven because the tripod is blocking the door. Fish going in, and off we go. Just put 13 minutes on the timer, so that is how long we have, roughly, until the dinner's ready. Now you just want to turn the heat up slightly on this, just to get it going a bit, and then keep stirring it. Don't stop stirring it, otherwise it will burn. And once it starts to dry out a bit, just get a little bit more stock and stir it in. And then you want to keep doing that pretty much until the time's up really, or until the rice is done to your tasting. Some people like it a bit al dente, a little bit crunchy. I personally like it properly cooked all the way through, personal preference, but just keep it stirring and adding the stock one ladleful at a time, like so. Alright ladies and gentlemen, risotto is all done. Looks absolutely delightful, if I do say so myself. And the fish is also done. Have a look at that. Doesn't it look lovely? That's well stuck to the fork though. Maybe I should have put a little bit of oil on there. But never mind. As always, there's probably a much better way of plating up. But I like the good old slop it on the plate method. I find it works a treat. And it's very time effective. And then now this is a fiddly bit. If you can get the fish off in one go, then go for it. But I think I'm going to struggle here, so I'm just going to use a knife, just do the best I can. I think I might just end up with a fish here though. But that's fine, because I don't really want the skin anyway, to be honest. Yeah, look, skin is like melted to the fore there, but there we go, look at that. Beauty. So there we have it guys, one lovely chorizo risotto with a fillet of oven-cooked sea bass. I could like tart this up a bit with a bit of parsley or something on top, but it is what it is and it smells amazing. It's going to taste absolutely banging. Make sure you check out all the other recipes in this playlist, and until next week guys, take care of yourselves, stay alive, and have a lovely dinner.